Alright guys, this is a bit different to what I normally vlog. I'm doing a resto on my trailer. I'll give you a look. The floor's rusted out. I've had this for about 16 years, 17 years, this trailer, look. See, it's rusted out. I've started cutting the welds out. Cutting the welds across the back. Yeah, she's seen her days now. She's had a bit of time, 16, 17 years, and even the tailgate needs a bit of a fix up. So I've put it up on car ramps because wow, if you have a look underneath, every cross beam here has got about 6 welds each side, so there's quite a lot. So I've put it up like that so it gives me a bit of room underneath. But guys, make sure you wear your safety gear. I've got a shield and all that to put on yet, because under here sparks are going to fly. But it's about the disc on the wheel of the grinder fucking shattering and taking your face out. So got to always be covered, you know. Like I've been doing grinding and welding and that for a little while. Not so much welding, but I'm pretty good on the grinder. Well, I think so anyway. It's my favourite tool, so I'm pretty good. I'm pretty careful with a lot of it, but just about to take the wiring out for the tail lights, because I'm going to clean all this up. I'm going to sandblast it, rust protect it, and so on, you know, give it another X amount of years to keep going. But alrighty, let's get into it. Alright, so I'm just going to take the lights out. What I'll do, take these screws out. I'm just going to cut the wires off because I've got new wiring to go through and it's not hard to work out what goes where. So I'm just going to rip them out. I'm going to replace the lights, the wiring. So it doesn't mean nothing to me. But if you're going to use whatever, mark down, put a bit of tape on it, right on it, left blinker, brake light. But these lights are old, man, and it's due for new ones. I'm just going to cut the wire anyway. Only because I'm not going to reuse them. Right, so just throw them in there. Well, you don't have to, you can put them neatly if you're keeping them. I'll put some whippersnipper cord on here. So when you pull the wiring through, it's easy to pull the old one back through. Probably in my case, it's probably, oh yeah, because the hole's up there, so it's going to be hard to try and get it back through. So that doesn't want to feed through. That doesn't want to feed through, so I've got to help give it a hand. Alright, now she'll go. So if you're painting a trailer or anything, you can just leave that there and you pull it through. There we go. I'll just leave that hanging and bingo, when I put the next one on, I just put the tape on it and pull it back through. How's that? Alright, so let's go around the back of the trailer and pull the rest of the cord through. Oops, I might need them snippers, because I'm only going to cut it because I'm not reusing it. 17 years old, it's been patched up a couple of times. So you're giving it a new paint job, new floor and some rust repairs, you better just replace it, put some new stuff through, especially if it's been patched up a few times. So we'll give it a crack. Alright, so it runs through here. Oh, I better go and cut that off. Better go cut it off first. Alright, round 2. Pull the cable through. So I don't need to worry about where these wires go. They're not that hard to work out what colour's what. So like I said before, I'm just going to cut them out. They're pretty basic. So I've been cutting through the welds there, but I'm going to go get some safeties because these cutting blades, these real thin ones, they're very flexible. So even though I'm keeping my face out of the direct grind, I'm staying to the side of it. I'm going to throw some gloves on because if that does shatter, boof, there goes all my fingers. And you know what? I ride, so I want to keep riding. I don't want to lose any fingers, so I'm going to do the right thing and throw some gloves on. Alright, so I put some gloves on. You've got to have them, man. Like the safeties first. Don't get another set of fingers. These need to go a little bit deeper, these grinds, so we'll go over them again. And guys, when you're using these blades, these real flexy ones, you got to keep it straight. If you got it on an angle, a big chance it'll shatter. Must be kept straight. Alright guys, so yesterday I didn't do nothing on the trailer. The day before I had to stop because sparks were getting me legs, and you know what, I didn't have no safety clothes on, but I needed to go get some stuff. So I went yesterday, got some more cutting blades. But I actually got the thicker ones, not the paper thin ones. Like the paper thin ones, like I said before, do cut through a lot easier. But these ones here are a lot more safer, and they're good for grinding welds down. So I went and got some more wax and grease remover. I got 4 litres, 8 litres of charcoal hematone. Look, I know that's too much, but I wanted 6 litres, as the cage has a cage that goes on top of it. So I'm going to paint the cage, but whatever's left over I can use anyway on something else. So then I went and got this stuff. This is good because this here, you can actually once you sprayed that on the rust, or once what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandblast the rust, then I'm going to spray that on and it'll stop it from rusting, and you can weld over the top of that stuff. Then I've got this one, the rust conversion. So I might be using that in a few places too. So, alright. So now I'm just going to get changed and we're going to get back into it again. Alright guys, so I just got a long sleeve shirt on. Couldn't find me other old work gear. And pair of trackies is going to stop the sparks burning me legs, but it's still not the best of safety gear. So if you got something to do with King G's or old pair of jeans, use them, way better. Alright, let's get back into it. Alright, I'm going to go cut it from the top now all the way across. Give myself a break from being under here. Because it's welded the panels together, I'm going to get up there and I'm just going to cut it all the way across. It's easier up on the top than down here. Alright, so we've had some shit weather, had to stop from the trailer and back in. I'll give you a quick look where I'm at. It's probably the longer way of cutting the floor out, but I'm finding it easier for me. And then I'll just go and take these pieces out there. There's only, because what's happening is when you're cutting through the welds, I don't want to wear too much of the metal away, and some of it's staying there. So what I need to do is, once I rip it out like this, then I'll just go along and I'll run over where the welds were. I'll be able to see, like there, you can see there was a weld there, you know. So I'll run the grinder back along that there, and then that other piece will pull out because it's not all welded in. So alright, let's keep going. Alright, so we're on a home run. Let's have a look at it now. So I'll cut this piece out, I'll call it a day, and I'll do the edge tomorrow. I'll start cleaning all the rust up. I've got to repair this. Stay tuned. Alright, back into it today. So my goal today is to just get rid of all these edges that are left in. Shouldn't take too much to get out. Got a couple little pieces up there to get out. So then when I do that, I can sandblast it. All right, let's get into it. Tell you what, she's a bit rusty under there. I'll repair that too. Alright, so we'll keep taking her out. Alright, so we've been into it. We've got the other side out now. That's all out. We've just got this front to go, which has been a bit of a pain in the ass where the welds go up into there, but we'll just keep going, keep digging in. But it hasn't been too bad considering it's been a bastard of a job. It's not as bad as it could be, I guess. It was a bit of a shock how many welds are on each beam all the way through. I didn't expect that. Not that many, maybe 3 or 4 on each, or maybe 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3, but there's like 10 on each beam, 5 each side, and that's crazy. But I probably went the long way of taking the floor out, but it made it easier for me, I think. But that was my choice, so let's keep going. We're almost there. We've just got a couple of bits of rust to repair after this. We've got down in the back corner. I think I showed you just before. Down in here. Down in here, all one cutting that and putting a repair in there. Let's clean it up. So yeah, let's keep at it. Alright, so we're back in the trailer another morning, just marking up some things. I've got some offcuts from the metal place to do a couple of rust sections, so here's one of them. So there's one, I'll cut that out, but I've still got to get that little piece out, which I'll get that out. It's in a shit corner, but even if I've got to drill it a bit, drill and drill and drill. And I've got to get this out of the corner, that piece, and them two. And we're ready to start cleaning it up. And weld a plate in here. I want to weld a plate in this section here. And then I'm gonna take all this shit out and try and clean that up in there. I'm gonna spray some stuff in there, a rust converter, so it converts down in there, stops it rusting. I probably won't stop it, but it's gonna slow it down anyway. That's the main goal, slow it down so I get a few more years out of this trailer. But yeah, so if you ever gonna put a floor in your trailer, shop around at where you can get your prices from. One steel suppliers I went to, They said it was going to cost me $700 for 3 sheets of checker plate to do the floor. And I'm like, oh wow. And then I looked on eBay. I'm like, okay, let's have a look. So I found some sheets brand new at another place, and they wanted 150 each, and I'm like, okay, so it pays to shop around. But then I went to the local trailer place. He gave me 3 sheets, 120 each, and he even cut them to size for me. So 360 bucks from 700. Wow, that's a big difference, man. That's nearly half price. So shop around, man. Definitely fucking shop around. It's worth it. All right, let's get into this. Beautiful. Alright, so the drilling works just to get it down the bottom, but I've got a weld on this side. I didn't realise that's there, so I get the grinder, cut that. I'll end up filling that with weld. I'll weld another plate in there, so let's get in there. There we go. Alright, so there's one cut out. So it's not even that bad, to be honest. The channel's really good. Alright, so this is what I've gone and done. I put the metal pipe on the inside, ran the grinder through it, cleaned it up a bit, as you can see. This here's still a little bit dinged in. I'm going to try and get a screwdriver up there. If not, I've got a little blowtorch. I don't have an oxy, otherwise this job would be so much easier with an oxy. I could heat it. But I'm going to use a blowtorch if I can't bend it. And if not, I'm going to belt the chisel up there, just try and bend it out a bit, just to straighten it up, make it look a bit neater. Alright, let's give it a crack, see what happens. Well, I've got nothing to lose, it's either there or it's not. But it would look better if it wasn't there. Give the chisel a go first. That straightened it up a lot more. That's heaps better. That's a bit better. Alright, now what I'll do is I'll fill that of weld. I'll try and get the welder up under the front there to try and put a bit more on the inside. And then what I'm thinking about doing is I will weld up under here. I will get up under here. I'm thinking about putting a couple of holes in here and fill it with weld into that pipe, just for a bit more support. All right, let's see how we go. All right, so I've just cleaned this up a bit with the grinder so the weld sticks. Cleaned up in there so the weld sticks up in there. I don't know if you can see that, but Yeah, we're going to give it a crack in a sec. We're going to put it in and give it a crack. Alright, so it doesn't look all neat and pretty. It's because when I first put on it, it was a little bit too high and blew a bit of a hole in it. So I had to fill the hole in. But at least it's penetrated, man. Once it's ground back, it'll look like $1 million. Oh, not really, but it's going to do the job, that's for sure. Once I grind that back, tidy it up again, maybe I'll do up in here. I'll weld all this in where you can see. I'll weld that in. And then I'll start on these patches. Alright, so we've been back into the trailer this morning. I just ran a bit of grinder around, clean her up. There's going to be my patch. I've cleaned it up. And I've also ran the wire brush around it on the grinder just to try and tidy it. There's the other patch. So I'm going to put a bit of rust converter on it. First I'll put a bit of wax and grease remover. Alright, so watch this. As you can see, it cleans your surface up. All the shit coming off of it. Alright, good old rust converter. Alright, there we go, I should do that. I'm going to go buy a can of WD-40 because it has a new nozzle. It has that little extension piece. I want to squirt it all down. I want to spray it all in there, and so on, just to try and save the trailer a bit longer through the sides, you know. But we'll see how we go. I'll do that to the nozzle, and I'll just go like this. Now, if that's going to slow the rust down that's actually in that channel, so be it. If it doesn't, whoop-de-doo. But yeah, you can see it's been coming through, look. And here. Which is a good thing. At least you know it's in there. Alright, so the next stage is start putting the floor in, or maybe the patches. Maybe the patches are in first, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm just about to tack weld a plate in. I'll give you a quick look. That's where we're at. Well, let's give it a crack. I've also done the flooring, look, but still needs welding in, but it's sitting in there. There's all the new checker plate. Alright, let's tack weld this plate in. See how we go anyway. Bit rough, but it's pretty good for a backyard job, I guess. I'm not a professional welder, so let's keep going. Let's go number 2. I just tack weld in this one here. I put it in. I measured back 40 mil because the tailgate hits this, so I need to just take it off. So what I've done is I've got a thicker bit of steel, reeled it up for this. I'll just get the grinder and just, and then this one's ready to be tacked in. I've been welding the trailer away, as you can see. Done a couple of welds across the back. This one here was a little bit too high, but you know what? They're not the best of welds. I'm not a professional, but if you're not sure on how to weld, jump on YouTube. There's plenty on there that teaches you how to weld for beginners, this and that. And this is I've only tack welded this. It's come together all right. It has got a bit of a gap, but it's the way the metal is. Even up here, but it's close here. But up here's got a bit of a gap, as you can probably see. This one here, I rushed into it and put a bit of heat, and it's like gone off a bit, but I'm going to put a weld across the top of that. Just a little weld. But yeah, we're getting there. We're underneath, getting it all done, and then I want to jump up here. But as I've probably already shown you, I've done a patch there. And patch up the front. Put a patch in there. Alright guys, we're back into the trailer again. I've been so busy lately, I just haven't had a chance to get into it. But yeah, I'm just doing a bit of a tailgate repair. Been repairing here, here, so on. There I'm going to give a touch up, but yeah, there we are. It's the tailgate. As you know, the floor's in. Most, 95% of it underneath welded up, so we're pretty much there. A little bit more to go. We've got to keep these fucking welds going. So we've stepped up with the gas bottle. We're going a big sucker now. Alright, so I'll give you a quick look at the progress. What actually happened is I put up a TikTok of just the progress of the trailer, and Snake Charmer from the Copperheads commented on there, because he's a welder, and says, Chop, turn the heat up just a little bit more. So I'll give you a quick look at the difference in just turning up the heat a little bit. Look, you look at my welds, look at these, and then he's told me to turn the heat up a bit. Look at that. How much better is that? That's way neater compared to that like bulky bird shit. That's like penetrated into it really well. So thanks Charmer, appreciate the tip. See, things like that, you don't need to be a professional welder to have a crack at something, and someone like that will give you a good tip, and wow man, I'm very impressed with that. That's fucking, hey, not just a pretty face, am I? No, I'm only joking. Nah. So being a backyardie, fucking do anything, man. You don't need to be a professional. So let's keep welding. Alright, we're into it. Got everybody into it, having a sand. Trailer's done. Hey, got the Chops Journeys crew into it. Time to sand it, get it painted, yeah. Alright, we're mixing the paint up. Alright, so the trailer's all done. I'll give you a quick look. Just got to paint the wheels. Here's the trailer all finished, look. She's all finished, painted up. New floor. New lights. So on, all new wiring. Painted the wheels. Yeah, so it's come out pretty good. Put all this on. New coating, new plug. It's come out really good. Well, I'm happy with it. New tag for it's in the car, the tag come off.